Heather. So another thing I was going to tell you that Jenny and I talked about was the practice worksheets and like how I graded those. So I was just going to explain it to you a little bit. Um, so I know it's kind of weird, like coming or that you're still teaching in a brick and mortar and online, and thinking like when you give your brick and mortar students a worksheet, you probably grade all the problems on it. But the idea here, like the reason I even added these in the first place, is that the pre-algebra course did not have a ton of practice at all. Like it would tell you, like what are factors, and then it would go straight to the quiz without like giving you practice on like finding factors. And so I really wanted to build in this practice. But that also means, I added 100 assignments to the course, which is a lot of grading. So what I ended up thinking is that mainly I added these as a bonus for the students to help the students with their learning. But I wasn't going to, spend my whole day grading these worksheets, especially because it's not very efficient in an online setting to grade all of them because kids are in different places. It's not like you're handed a stack of 30 practice worksheets 1.1 and you can bust them all out right in a row. You're going to be getting all different worksheets every day. Anyway, so what I do is like when I open um, a student's practice worksheet, let's see if I can even see one in here. I can't remember what class I just opened to look at this. Oh, this is one of your students. Okay. Let's see if it lets me see it. Okay, so like when I open one of them, let's move this. Let's move this. Uh-oh. That's weird. What I want is this to open. Okay. So if you look at the worksheet, sometimes what I would do, especially towards the beginning of the year when I was really like gung ho, I would choose two problems like this one and this one or something and actually check them for accuracy. And I just had my own folder of completed worksheets so I could check the accuracy of them really fast. But towards the end of the year, or if I was feeling overwhelmed by grading that particular week, I would just honestly glance. Does it look like they did it? Great. Give them the points. Um, because the point, again, was just to give them the practice that the course didn't give them. I didn't necessarily care about holding them to the grade. If they aren't going to do the practice worksheets, that's going to hurt them in the long run. And like if you started noticing that a student wasn't doing them over and over again, then maybe, sorry, it's really loud, then maybe that's a conversation that I would start having then. Like, hey, I noticed you haven't done any of the practice worksheets and your grade is a D. You might have a better grade if you did the practice worksheets because they help you, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if any of that made sense. I do not sit and grade every single one of these. I would grab two or three or something, um, or I would just open it and be like, "Yep, they did it," and give them the points. Um, just because, again, this is something extra we added to the course just to help the students. This wasn't necessarily like something I felt was a requirement that the course needed to have for a grade, if that makes sense. So that is what I did as far as grading the practice worksheets. Let me know if you have any other questions about the practice worksheets. I'm happy to explain. I spent like a ton of time making this course. Um, the other thing is in the master, the course that you have imported, this course is good. It's totally like um, set up and makes sense and everything's there. But I did want to show you that something I have in a course that I previously taught of pre-algebra is I have a video walkthrough of every single workbook where I physically went through and did it with them and recorded myself. And then they can watch that instead of like reading through this, they could watch me go through it and take notes with me. So I just talked to Jenny. I'm going to go ahead and import this version that has all the videos to the master version. So if you teach this course next quarter, you will download the master and it will have all these videos in it, which I think is really helpful because a lot of students like to watch the video instead of like reading the math all by themselves. So I know that was a lot of stuff I just said. Let me know if you have any other questions.